Here with my two best friends,
Yes.
Mark and Cordie. I say that to
Feel free
everybody,
to
Mark.
text me at any time.
No, absolutely not. You will not have that happen to me. Sorry. We are going to do something cool. So with SKYTRAK, Golf Tech owns the software. It's made by golf teachers to help people play better. So we have a great tool that our development team's made that we're just internally calling a range editor. You can see it up behind me. There's a driving range of New York City-ish. Skyline kind of existing in there and a cool hole. So typically we have this at 155 yards, I believe, for users. Today we are going to build one, and we're just going to use this as the template because it's fast. Yep. Otherwise we'd have a few other ways to do it. So my friend Nick Clearwater back there is going to move us to 40 yards, and we're going to start building some of these. So what I think the possibility is for you to watch what's going to happen. We're just going to build this in real time, hit on it, and then this is going to go to our SKYTRAK users very shortly. So this hole is going to be 40 yards. It's going to have 3 different rings to it for a low shot, a medium-ish shot, and then a medium-high. Not a high shot, because we're not practicing flop shots off of a mat very often. I find that a pretty useless skill. But what we're able to do with this are simple things like Nick's about ready to pull out a tree. Let's show you how this can kind of work. And this is a very parsed down version of what we use in general to make these ranges, but then the tree goes away because that would be a ridiculous place for it. But this is opening up an opportunity for us to make some seriously custom environments. I'd like to make one for both of you over time here too, but every month we'll have a new range that exists into the SKYTRAK world. So 40-yard shot while Nick's making that. You got any tips for everybody at home on how you might do this?
A 40-yard
shot really well?
Yeah. Well,
high, low, anything in between?
Yeah, absolutely. Number one point, understand what loft you're using.
Okay, good idea.
And also as well, try if you can, it's slightly more advanced, try and get good at doing a 40-yard shot with different lofts. Lots of golfers just dialing into one, and if you're really skilled with one, keep doing that one, but there will always be an occasion where it needs to go lower than these rings. So can you hit it 40 yards with a 9-iron? Can you hit it 40 yards with your 50 or 60 or whatever? So practicing whatever skill for distance, doing it with a mixer club is something amateurs don't do enough of. They're almost a bit scared to. It's like almost too experimental. And then they get behind a tree and they're 40 yards out and they haven't got a solution.
Well, they've never hit that shot, so then they're going to be terrible at it.
And that's where something like this, building a range with these kind of skill tests, I mean, you're basically talking real life skills that you will be asked when you play, but you're kind of tricking them to practice them, which is super fun. Yeah, absolutely.
And you could hit a 200-yard shot into this. The ball's just going to bounce into a building and off the ground. And that's what it'll work too. So the first shot it will be somewhere between 15 and 20 degrees, pretty low for a shot. And then I would launch a standard 40-yard shot, 25 to 30, somewhere in there. And then maybe we'll get one that's 30 to 34 or something. That's about as high as you really need to hit this, unless you're hitting a trick shot anyway. So you can see those rings are getting popped in. You can pop them in and out, move them around, rotate them around. We'll put some scoring behind these here shortly, and then this is the start of just something different and a cool way to practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get really bored, and I don't know about you, when you're practicing with the launch monitor and the software, you're left with that static driving range feel. And that was day one that we had to make that cool and engaging. So that's what we're after here.
Well, I think as well with that point, getting bored, hitting into a static range, is that the more creative users, I would have, when I do it with students, I'm now making up games. So I'm creating, but still on that flat range. You're doing that work for the users or for a coach who uses it or whatever.
Putting water on the range. Yeah, you've seen a bunch of those.
And the best way of coaching is that kind of, for lots of people, it's tricking them to learn. You know, rather than saying do X, Y, or Z, there's a ring, can you get it through it? And let them play and learn some of their patterns. Oh, if I move the ball back, it goes lower. If I move it forward, it goes higher. If I move it forward, I might hit the ground a bit early. If I move it back, I might catch it a bit thin. You'll start learning those patterns that you can then take to the course. Because, I mean, for me, if you go, that ring isn't really high, but if you put a really high ring in there and I was hitting a fuller shot, that's my most hated shot. I'm never going to play that shot unless the course demands me to. I'll always go round or take another option. If you're in these environments and you're being forced to learn those patterns, rather than thinking I've got to get it over that tree with a 9-iron or a wedge or whatever it is, I should do it, other people do it, I'm saying to them, well, that's not my best skill. I'm better at actually moving it 20 yards right to left in the air, so I'm going to go round it. So I'm choosing my skill based on creative practice, which I love.
Well, this has been done for a couple minutes. We're ready to hit.
Shall I hit one?
Yeah.
Are you going to call the ring, or shall I go bottom ring?
Middle.
Middle ring.
And I might change my mind mid-swing.
So, how 40 yards.
How'd you do?
Not bad.
Okay.
Little low.
Yeah, almost
little
high enough.
low.
So that was 25. It was right at the cusp of those two.
Which was strike related, so that wasn't my best strike, I would say. So I felt like if I deliver the same angles with a slightly better strike that rides up the face a little bit, that might. And again, that's where these games are so good. You could really dial into all those little nuances that you do in these situations.
There you go, absolutely.
So I try the same ring again.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Little high. No, not
There
that.
it is.
The higher side of that ring, was that out of interest?
Yeah.
So,
You'll be able to see it when the shot comes back. It's medium-ish high on the through that ring. Not bad. That's really good.
43
so,
carry.
and a little bit. The carry was. I'm trying to carry at 40, so I'm happy with the carry.
3 yards too far. So there's an example, and then I would always use the launch angle, backspin, descent angle, even for these short shots. The program's built in there to give you reasonable numbers, and then you start to learn over time. You get pretty good at this 40-yard shot indoors. Go practice outside, see how it translates, then come back in and bounce in and out of those environments. You get good at this.
Yeah, that's so. It's amazing.
Cool tool. We're just getting
Super
started
clever.
on this. So I've got some big plans for this one, but no, appreciate that you like this one. What do you think, Cordie?
Yeah, I mean, I've been like trying to create games and track stats myself in like a spreadsheet just from a normal range, right?
Sounds
so
real
like,
nerdy, by the way.
I'm very lame.
It sounds fun at parties.
I don't have many friends. Have I mentioned that? Just you and Mark are my best friends. Other than that, no. So I'm doing that. So like now I see like, all right, I do need to actually work on keeping launch down because I struggle with getting a bit too much.
Is he gonna hit one?
Oh, we can hit one. Okay, can I keep it? Let's play it down.
Can you do the low one?
Oh boy, I
That
don't know
looks
about
like
that.
it'll probably be 20 is gonna be pushing it to
Yeah,
get it
that's
in
low
there.
for that
It is
long.
low and 40. All right, let's
No,
see
you're
what
right,
it is.
best friend. This is an interesting way to break up practice.
Yeah,
Might
but
have
like
gone-
I want to keep track of this.
Got
I
it.
can- Oh, sit.
Carried a little too
Sit.
far,
So
but
carried it, yeah.
so there's 17 launch. The backspin's appropriate, and you see the descent angle's too acute to really be useful. But might be a good play if you had a back pin, tons of roll. If you feel comfortable hitting that shot, good way to break up your practice. Hit your stock block practice on a range, whatever. But once in a while, you can trip into these ranges. We've made them so accessible in the app, and do something different.
Yep.
Love it.
No, it's great. I'm gonna keep score. I mean, keeping score, having games like this, like it's the way to go. I mean, I'll do this with my kids. I guarantee it, right?
Yep.
Like we are always looking for something fun to do. So